Baz. Baz, thank you, Father Simon, Sister Susie, and Brother from the Gutter. My confession goes back to 1970, when I was still at school and got a holiday job on a chicken farm. The farm was quite advanced for its time. I think you would call them barn-raised chickens now. In addition to the chickens, the farm had 2 black and white goats, a billy goat and a nanny goat. They were tethered separately between the chicken sheds, and their job was to eat the grass, and the farmer would milk the nanny goat to provide the milk for everyone's tea. A perfect arrangement, and yes, this does mark the return of a goat.
A goat.
To the confessional for the first time since 1990. Who knows? Unlikely.
No.
Different times, Matt, different times. Wouldn't be allowed on. No. The farmer briefed me on my job, which was to paint the outside of the wooden chicken sheds, and they had to be painted black. He gave me a paintbrush, he gave me black paint, he gave me gloves and a wooden ladder. The only briefing I got, essentially, was to get on with it and to keep the goats separate. That was it. So with my trusty transistor radio, I set to work. It's a hot summer, and I grooved to the local radio station as it blasted out the #1 Mungo Jerry in the summertime. I mean, presumably it blasted other things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been a bit boring. The farmer was not very diligent, I should tell you, because he was down the pub most of the time. Now, all was going smoothly with the painting until I came to the chicken shed next to where the billy goat was tethered. The first thing that hit me was an awful smell. Essentially, I smelt the billy goat before I saw him. Think of the strongest smelling goat cheese you've ever known and multiply it by 1,000.
Oh,
that was the smell. It was gross. The billy goat seemed to have some sort of oily musk on its coat, giving off this dreadful smell. To make matters worse, Billy Goat was very, very feisty. As I put up my ladder, he started nudging me with his head, and consequently, now I smelt too of old goat as he wiped his head on my trousers.
Oh, lovely.
So I quickly got up the ladder to carry on painting and avoid the billy goat. Now, being under the painting is never a good idea, so Billy Goat started to get splattered with black paint. This made no difference. He stood under my ladder, and the bleating got louder and louder. I went down the ladder, shooed Billy Goat away. However, as soon as I got back up the ladder, Billy Goat was back underneath, bleating at the top of his voice. Every time I shooed Billy Goat away, he returned. As I got back up the ladder a third time, I became aware of a slight rumbling vibration on the ladder. Billy Goat had upped the ante. I looked down to see Billy Goat gnawing the top of my wooden ladder.
Wow.
He was eating the thing that I was standing on. Well, I had to do something. Billy Goat had to go somewhere else. So I uprooted the stake that Billy Goat was tethered to and led him, still bleating, towards another area between the sheds. Now, unfortunately, we had to go past the nanny goat to get there.
Oh, dear.
Billy Goat immediately ran up to the nanny goat, and they started being friendly.
Oh, dear.
To my surprise, nanny goat was very, very pleased to see Billy Goat.
Oh, that's good
and
news.
she encouraged proceedings.
Oh, did she?
They were both, I have to report, Father Simon, incredibly friendly with each other. They made a lovely couple. Nanny was wagging her tail, obviously very happy. Billy had stopped bleating. What could possibly be wrong with this?
Yes.
The world needed more love.
Yes,
more
indeed.
goat love, maybe. So I left. There's a song in there. So I left Billy Goat with Nanny Goat. A win-win, I thought. I could go back to my painting. I finished the section of the shed and got back into grooving to Mungo Jerry. Everything was going swimmingly until later that day, after Nanny Goat was milked and all the workers had a tea break. The form was that we all congregated in the farmer's kitchen for tea breaks. We sat around an oak table on flagstones with one of those plastic tablecloths in a printed tartan pattern. Unnecessary detail. The farmer... should have crossed that one up. Yeah. The farmer put all the mugs in the middle of the table, and we poured goat's milk into each one, and everyone had their tea. Then, when they were full, we all grabbed a mug. There was an almighty gushing sound, a bit like when one of those Italian water fountains started up, because together with a chorus of bleh, everyone spat out their tea. Second-hand tea was sprayed on the table and the floor. The tea tasted ever so strongly of Billy Goat's oily musk. It was so gross, it was undrinkable. Everyone was mad. The farmer asked, "Has anyone put the Billy Goat near the nanny goat?" "No," everyone replied. So I lied. The farmer duly threw out the milk that we had to have, so we had to have milkless tea that day, and for the next few days, as Billy's odour in the milk hung around for a while. So I should have done a warning, really, shouldn't I?
Bit late now.
I left the farm at the end of the summer holidays. However, several months later, I returned to work there during the Easter holidays. On the first day of my return, I walked past the chicken huts to see Billy Goat tethered on the grass. He seemed subtly changed. definitely standing proud with a bit of a swagger. As I walked on, I noticed Nanny Goat, also tethered, but with her was, as you might have guessed, a kid goat. I met the farmer and remarked about the addition to his goat flock, if that's indeed the correct word.
No.
He was not happy, as he could still not milk Nanny Goat, as the baby kid goat needed all the milk. He couldn't understand how Nanny Goat had ended up with a kid goat. Well, in my defence, it was really Billy Goat that caused all the trouble rather than me. And also, can I mention, Mungo Jerry again. Their hit goes, as you might remember, Father Simon, being Dr. Pop. In the meantime, in the summertime, when the summer is fine, you have women on your mind. And in Billy Goat's case, that's exactly what happened. So in a very real way, I feel it's Mungo Jerry's fault.
Oh, right.
Can I blame Mungo
Wow.
Jerry, please?
No.
Father Simon and your team, I would like to ask forgiveness, not from the farmer, as he should have had more hands to help out on the farm, but for my fellow workers who had their tea ruined for a week and probably could not go near a goat's cheese ever again, if you see what I'm saying. Well, I think we probably can see what you're saying, and we don't really like the sound of what you're saying. But at least the goats survived. Not only did they survive making up for the well moment of a couple of decades ago, there are now more goats.
More
There are
goats.
More goats on
And
this
there's a goat
earth.
in.
So actually, that's a good thing and a happy ending, Sister Susie from the pub.
Yeah, that is a good thing. However, that smell, it made me feel a bit queasy, and I just can't forgive you for doing that. And because also, just go and get some other milk. If you haven't got any goat milk, just get some other milk.
Go to the shop and buy some.
Yeah, go buy some. He could have bought some to make up for the fact that he, done that. So I'm just not going to forgive him. Ugh.
Blame it on the farmer. Type farmer could have just paid for some more milk.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Just go nip down the supermarket. They had milk in the 70s, I'm pretty sure. Just
Did
go,
they?
go down the supermarket and get some milk. We're laughing and learning tonight, aren't we? Who knew that if you allow a billy goat near a nanny goat, then the milk goes off? I didn't know that. And
Yes, I think that's what we learned.
So that is very much what I learned. I'm going to forgive just for the phrase "more goat love" because I never thought we'd get that on Greatest Hits Radio. So there you go, more goat love.